Although now, of course, I don't have access to. Let me just take a picture of this. Okay. I'm good whenever you all are. I can't see you guys, so.
All right, I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm ready too.
Cool. Right. Okay, I'll just start it off. Okay. Okay, so do you guys just want to introduce ourselves first then?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm Gabe, I guess. I don't know.
Is it already live?
I think so, isn't it? Oh, yeah, we're live.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'm Trenton McAdow.
I'm Lane Henderson.
And I'm Gage Jackson. And Megan is not here today because she had an emergency issue that came up.
Right. For our CIP project, the topic we chose was race, and the point of us picking race was to kind of see how our community felt with other races and how comfortable we were as just one big group as a human race and U.S. citizens. And what we expected since we're kind of, I don't know, I come from kind of a smaller community, so I expected everyone to kind of have joint opinions about all races are equal, and that's what we expected to get out of this, doing this topic. And, the movie we picked that went along with our topic, which was race, was the movie The Help, which is on the screen there, and it's about how race was in the 1950s. It was an all-black maid service that nannied and were maids for upper-class white people, and it basically just showed how bad the black maids were treated, and how life just wasn't really fair for black Americans back then. And there's one white lady who kind of is nicer to all of them, and she sees them as equal people, which they were. And it kind of changed the movie, and it gave the black maids kind of a fight, and they wanted to get even with the white people and prove that they were just as equal as the whites were. And one of the three assumptions that we kind of had as a group for this was we didn't really expect people to judge other races in our community. And that was kind of what we assumed from going into it before we sent out the survey to all the other people.
In our project, we conducted a survey, and we wanted to see how the community and the people in the community felt with their own race and other races. And we want to make sure we expected to get positive results, and meaning that people were felt equal across the whole community. And in our group, we had Gage Jackson, which is the leader and spokesperson. Trenton McDowell, which is he was gathering data, and myself, Lane Henderson, was the strategy analysis, and Megan Vandenberg was the recording data.
Okay, so I did the annotated bibliography part of our plan, and most of our sources focused on the social distance scale, which is a scale that they used to conduct questions and see how other people felt about different races within their country. So I initiated that and put that in our survey, and then we also all put in different other questions that contributed to race and how people felt about race in their own community. And then our initial hope was to partner with the Black Cultural Center or the Asian American Cultural Center on campus at Purdue University. One of the other things we didn't expect was how hard it would be to reach those partners with all of the technology we have. I didn't get an email back until just a couple of weeks ago, and the email came from Boiler Tracks. So our partner is Boiler Tracks, and we're looking at possibly doing some kind of event based off of our information, either next fall or next spring. So. Timeline-wise, we went along with our timeline pretty well. Yeah. For personal cultural immersions, I attended an African American worship center, so church on Sunday. And the way they do things is definitely a lot different than the way my church does things. So I learned a lot. Yeah.
For immersions, I did a lot of research at the African American Center at Purdue, and kind of gathered how blacks in Americas, it's just kind of recent that they're starting to get their fair shake and starting to really gain equality, which is kind of hard to swallow, and that's something that definitely is moving up, and that's good to see.
My personal cultural immersion, I went through and talked to people on campus, and I recorded what they said, and I noticed that a lot of people might change their views when they're talking to somebody in person versus like a written survey.
Okay, this is our online survey kind of results. So there were only 23 people that participated in the survey. And so one of the questions we asked was, have you ever felt unwanted in your community due to race? And 19 people said that they did, and the other 3 said no, they haven't. Then we asked, have you ever been discriminated specifically because of your race? And 21 people said no, and 3 people said yes. Or 2 people said yes. Do you think people look at you differently because of your race? 19 people said no, 5 people said yes. Have you ever felt pressured to leave your community due to your race? 2 people said yes, the others said no. Have you ever felt as though you were at an unfair advantage due to your race? 7 people well, no, 8 people said yes, and then the other 15 said no. Have you ever found that it is difficult to make friends due to your race? No one said yes, and everyone said no. Have you ever heard anyone saying racial slurs to another person in your community? The majority said yes, and then 8 people said no. Do you believe racism is common in your community? 9 people said no, 13 people said yes. Do you think that you have not ever gotten a job because of your race? 1 person said yes, the other people said no. Yeah. Is there anything else you guys wanted to add?
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
All right. So that's our presentation. Like we said, Megan wasn't able to make it because she had an emergency. So she'll be sending us a video herself of the way that she contributed, and we'll forward that to Mr. McClure.